Communities around the world are expanding fast, and technology is only moving faster. The result of this are breathtaking megaprojects that cost way more than ever before. These projects include everything from transportation improvements to objects for scientific research and have burned hundreds of billions of dollars in their construction. On this episode of Built a Billion, we present to you the 10 most expensive construction projects in the world, Part 2. And stay till the end. You won't believe the cost of the most expensive megaprojects ever conceived. If you love to hear about all the megaprojects of the world, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. HonshuShikoku Bridge, $75 billion. Japan has a very fast and efficient rail network that has made its makeup of various islands extremely easy to get to. The Honshu and Shikoku Bridge project was designed to connect the two islands, which would benefit the nation's economy. The islands were previously only reachable by ferry, and this project would become the biggest and most expensive construction project in Japanese history. The bridge would consist of 3 expressways across a network of 18 bridges, most of which are suspension bridges that could accommodate pedestrians, cyclists, and trains. Most of the bridges were completed between 1998 and 99, with a cost of $48 billion. Adjusted for inflation, that equates to $75 billion today. The bridge has been a full-fledged success, boosting the economy and adding convenience to everyone who lives on the island. Maktoum International Airport, $82 billion. The UAE is using its oil wealth to position itself as an important player in business, tourism, and travel. A good example of this are the billions invested into the city of Dubai. The biggest investment, however, is going into Dubai South, with the main feature of this project being the Al Maktoum International Airport. The airport opened in 2010, but it's far from finished, as its estimated date of completion is 2027. Once it is finished, it will become the largest airport in the world in terms of freight, covering an area of 35,000 acres and the capacity to handle 260 million people per year. 4 planes will be able to land at the same time here, with its 5 parallel runways, and there will be 3 passenger terminals to go along with private terminals for wealthy passengers. Add in a rail network to connect to the rest of the city, and the project is expected to cost $82 billion when it's all said and done. The Great Mosque of Mecca, $100 billion. The Great Mosque of Mecca is the most sacred site in Islam and has been increasingly added onto for more than 1,000 years. In recent years, sizable accommodations have been made for the millions of people who visit the site each year. The Saudi government has undergone 3 significant periods of expansion. The first was from 1955 to 73, where the ceilings and floors were refurbished. The second period added an outdoor prayer area, air conditioning, over 500 marble columns, and escalators. And the third, which has doubled the site to be able to accommodate 2.5 million people at once. Overall, it's thought that it has taken the equivalent of $100 billion to create what the mosque is today, the 8th largest building in the world. HS2, $128 billion. High-speed rail networks are all the rage nowadays, and the most expensive individual megaproject in Europe right now is Britain's HS2. The HS2 is supposedly a project that will address the imbalance of resources that have been spent on London and the South when compared with the areas north of London. The first stage is a high-speed rail network between London and Birmingham, expected to be done by 2031. In the second phase, we'll see the network extended to Manchester and Leeds by 2040. The issue with the project, causing ill feelings among the citizens involved, are the rising costs and delays of the megaproject. The cost has tripled since conception, was supposed to be completed already, and has ruined areas of the countryside due to its development. It's left people to wonder whether the money would be better allocated into the actual cities themselves. Silk City, $132 billion. After its completion, Silk City in Kuwait will be one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's a 4-part megaproject that was conceived with a motivation to boost the economy and leave a world legacy. The first phase is going on currently, and it involves building a port along the coast. The future phases will see the construction of the financial village, leisure village, cultural village, and ecological village. All these villages are expected to be complete by 2044. But no Middle Eastern megacity is complete without a super tall building to brag about. Enter the Burj Mubarak Al Kabir, which would be the tallest skyscraper in the world at 3,284 feet or 1,001 meters. The new city will have hotel complexes, nature reserves, and all the shiny bells and whistles that will amount to $132 billion in total. But Kuwait and the Chinese investors are convinced they'll see a return on their money in very little time. International Space Station, $165 billion. For decades, there has been a human desire to build habitable outposts outside of our planet. The International Space Station is the product of innovational engineering and has been operational for over 2 decades. It was built in stages by a collaboration of nations all around the world and provides the ability to explore deeper into space than previously imagined. It's the most expensive single object ever created by humans, with a cost of $165 billion. Maybe one day, the collaboration will lead to a base on the moon or Mars, allowing us to have options when it comes to places we can call home. Gulf Railway, $250 billion. The Gulf Railway is in progress right now in East Arabia. It will connect all of the 6 Gulf Corporation Council members of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Oman, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain. Aiming for completion in 2025, the network will cover 1,352 miles or 2,100 kilometers. Each country is responsible for the construction of the rail lines in their own territory, with Saudi Arabia and the UAE responsible for the majority of the work. Talk about the short end of the stick. The route will begin in Kuwait City and pass through Saudi Arabia into Abu Dhabi in the UAE, then into Sohar in Oman. Then the line will be split, with one line going into Bahrain and the other into Qatar. The trains will be diesel-powered, and the mega project will cost $250 billion. The first section is expected to be in operation by 2023. The railway is supposed to create 80,000 permanent jobs in addition to carrying people and freight. Belt and Road Initiative, $8 trillion. The Silk Road was once the most valuable trade network in the world. Technology has improved, and that is no longer the case, but China is developing a new Silk Road called the Belt and Road Initiative. This is without a doubt the largest and most expensive mega project ever attempted, with an estimated overall cost of $8 trillion. It consists of more than 7,000 infrastructure projects that are estimated to be completed by 2050, involving 64 countries in Asia, Africa, and Europe. The project was first announced in 2013 and has been the crown gem of China's foreign policy since. The Belt and Road Initiative will assert China's dominance in trade for years to come, and also has political motives. Lots of countries are relying on China's investment to develop their parts of the network. The mega project will include the building of ports, skyscrapers, railways, roads, airports, dams, and technology institutes. If this actually is achieved, world trade will never be the same again. What do you think about the most expensive mega projects in the world? Let me know in the comments below. Part 1 of this series should be on the screen, so click that video on the screen to watch something you haven't seen. And thanks for visiting